It's just on the best market.
Well, welcome everyone to this meeting of the Harpenden Town Council Planning Committee being held on Tuesday, the 25th of April at 7:30 p.m. in the Town Hall Council Chamber. Do we have any apologies for absence?
We do, yes. Councillor Roger Butterworth is away on holiday.
You have to accept that. All in favour? Lovely. Do any councillors have any declarations of interest? No, I can't see any as ever. If you spot one during the meeting, do just raise your hand and yell at me at the appropriate moment. Moving on to item 3, minutes of the meeting for the planning committee held on the 4th of April. Does anyone have any comments on those? Happy to accept them as a true record? Favour? Lastly? Three. And backing practice again from someone else. Yeah. Initials remain annoyingly long as ever.
It sounds like it's coming from a car, I think.
Or the path. Either way, it's a nicer colour. Chairman's report and urgent items. I don't have any urgent items, but given this is the last meeting of this term for councillors of the planning committee, I just want to put on the record the committee's thanks and appreciation to Heather and the officer team for all of their support over the last 4 years. Certainly in the 2 years that I've been chair, it would not be possible to exercise the duties that we do without the support of the officer team. And also to add our thanks to all residents who've engaged with us over that 4 years. It has been one of the sort of highlight of experiences of my time on council. So yeah, I just thought that was appropriate, given it is our last meeting. Public questions in accordance with standing orders 22 and 23.
No, none have been received, Chair.
Thank you. Any letters of objection?
No, not sent through to the Town Council.
Lovely. So we'll move on to the meat of the agenda, which is applications registered in weeks ending the 31st of March, the 7th and the 14th of April. We will start where we have public speaker, which is the item at 6 Park Close.
Correct, yeah.
So that is on page 14, reference 5/2023-0426. I will start by asking our member of the public to speak for up to 3 minutes, and then I'll ask Heather to give her observation.
I see here.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It should be no more than a minute, hopefully. So the residents of Park Rise Close were surprised to receive the plans for 6 Park Rise Close, which includes both applications 0426 and 0435. Indeed, 9 of the other 12 households along the street have raised an objection to proposal 0435, and we're certain at least the same number will object to the second, even larger scale scheme. We're concerned that applying for 2 concurrent applications may be a planning ploy to get the marginally less grandiose development accepted. We feel both applications are an overdevelopment of the site, and a 2-storey development of any scale, of any nature, is out of character with the street. At present, all of the bungalows have been converted to dormer bungalows with a consistent ridgeline. The same theme runs around Park Rise with consistent scale development of dormer bungalow conversions. We feel this has created a consistent and visually appealing streetscape along Park Rise Close. The community is concerned that both of these proposals are diametrically opposed to objectives ESD1, ESD2, and H2, within the Harpenden neighbourhood plan. The property at 6 Parkrise Close does require an update, and we would welcome a sympathetic redevelopment, but would encourage our local council to adhere to the Harpenden neighbourhood plan and support the views of the local residents of the close in objecting to both of these proposals.
Perfect. Thank you very much, sir. Heather, I'll now ask you to give your observation.
Okay, yep, that's fine. So obviously my observations relate purely to the application of 0426. Just for clarification, Town Council aren't actually consulted on prior approval applications, so our comments will relate solely to the 0426 application. Okay, so my observations are that the road is made up of predominantly bungalows, stroke dormer bungalows on this side and 2-storey semi-detached dwellings on the opposite side. This property is currently the original bungalow with dormer bungalows either side. Number 4, having an increased roof ridge height. The drawing shows the property with a pitched roof with dormer to the right, which is misleading and inaccurate. This proposal is to change the bungalow into a full-up 2-storey detached dwelling with 5 bedrooms with a ridge height of 8.2 metres, some 2.6 metres higher than the existing ridge line, and approximately 1.3 metres higher than number 4 and 2.6 metres higher than number 8, Parkrise Close. Property also has a 4-metre full width rear extension at ground floor level, though the 45-degree visibility zones have been shown as to not be obstructed. The detached garage is to be demolished, but the proposal states 4 off-street parking spaces will be provided. Proposals appear to be an overdevelopment of the host dwelling and plots, leading to an unbalanced and out-of-keeping effect on the street scene. A centralised 2-storey forward projection is also proposed, which adds further weight to concerns over dominance and not being in keeping with the street scene. There are no objections, so there are objections on the LPA website, not on the station area. I said consider recommend refusal. The proposed changes are deemed an overdevelopment of the host dwelling and plots, leading to an unbalanced and detrimental effect on the street scene, which is further compromised by the addition of a 2-storey centralised forward projection. Policies ESD 1 and 2 of the neighbourhood plan and 69 and 70 of the district plan affairs. So if you want to look at the drawings here, there are literally two sheets.
If I may.
Yes.
So it sounds like this is the larger of 2 applications, is that right?
Yes.
Have we commented on the previous?
No, because it's a private approval, so it's not actually full planning application. It's sort of kind of deemed.
Like an outline planning?
It's kind of more akin to sort of like a certificate of lawfulness. It's not
Okay.
actually it's one where I think they're just seeking. It is, yeah. It's very similar to a certificate of lawfulness where they gone through. I think it's sort of deemed a technical application, sort of that they now submit. So they're not ones that we've formally consulted on. There's the parameters that they're allowed to sort of build to, which I think it's still pending actually at the moment.
How long has it been pending for?
So only I can have a little look, but it went in as an almost tandem application. I think with this one, didn't it? I think it was about a week or so's difference. So
Yeah, it's a few weeks difference.
Yeah.
So who determined, do SADC just look at that then?
Yes.
Any initial comments?
Heather, could you just confirm what H2 is?
Yeah, so it's actually, I think it relates to dwelling mix. Double check. It isn't actually so relevant to refer to. Housing renewal actually, so it relates to the changing of existing out-of-date dwellings, replacement with new.
Any other thoughts?
Last comment, Chair, I said this earlier, and I would refuse
Yep.
on as many plans as possible.
Yes,
Full stop.
absolutely. I mean, it's
It's gross over development.
It is gross overdevelopment. It is-
It
is really
blah,
big.
blah, blah, yes.
totally out of keeping.
And where we're going to park the car, I've no idea.
Paul looks a bit optimistic.
Yeah. Unless they're minis.
We've seen a lot of optimistic thoughts.
Yeah.
May I ask a question? Is that not my role? No.
I will allow a question to be asked.
It just pertains to this other seemingly one that we can't comment on. It involves a ridge height raised to 8.1 metres, which is akin to this second development. And it is also a two-storey development, which is out of nature with the whole of the street scene and surrounding area. And I guess if we can't comment on it as this council, we can't comment on it, but it seems surprising that we can't do so, given it's very similar to this slightly more grandiose scheme.
Have you put in?
We all have. We've had 9 of us of the residents of the other 12 houses on the street have put an objection into that proposal.
Yeah.
But it just seems surprising that it's beyond the remit of the local Hartland Council.
We're not given an opportunity to
Yeah.
to comment on them, unfortunately.
So in the event that we're not given an opportunity, that's fine. But if we, can we just make an inquiry just to confirm? And if we are able to make a comment, we will take whatever comment they make in this.
Yeah.
We're allowed to say we note that there was this type of application that does not go out for comment, but note that it is not vastly different from the one in front of the.
Yeah.
Can we say that?
Yeah, I think.
I don't see why we shouldn't say that.
We'll figure out what we can say and then make sure that whatever representation we make on this, we make on the other one, if that's okay, Heather.
I'll double check to make sure that the wording that relates will relate to this one.
Yeah. There are public comments, so I don't see why we couldn't.
Yeah,
We couldn't make
yeah,
any
it's-
public comment.
we could do, but it comes under a PA, so it's a prior approval.
Yeah,
I don't see why we shouldn't say.
Yeah,
we've made exceptions.
I cannot see there is a discernible difference.
Yeah.
Much discernible difference.
So I would propose, I think the recommendation that we've got is, personally, I think that covers most of the bases. Is there anyone that has anything specific they'd like to add to the recommendation?
These policies cover parking.
the district ones do.
Okay.
But the ones with town council, we can only refer to brand new builds. We don't have a policy in there for parking for existing buildings,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah, let's also mention the concerns about the parking. I think that's helpful. Lovely. So I think with that addition of parking, is there anything else we'd like to add? No. So I think the recommendation we've got, we'll put to a vote in a second, but we're also noting when we put it to a vote, we're also going to submit that recommendation for the prior approval application if the town council is allowed to do so. I guess what it wouldn't be, but yes. So all in favour of that?
Okay, that's agreed.
Perfect. I would also suggest, given the scale of this, given how outward keeping it is, that we should probably have a conversation about whether to call it in. At the very least. Right, at least a conversation, not written, do you know what I mean? Does anyone have any strong sort of initial views on whether or not we should call this in? Any council?
I'm tempted.
Yes, I would incline that way.
Yeah.
One, because of the scale of it, but also because hopefully calling it in will concentrate minds on the other application as well.
I agree, given that's a majority, I have the casting vote, I'll put it to a vote. All in favour of casting it in, calling it in?
Okay. I shall initiate calling.
It's a bad time for me not to be able to make any coherent sentences in the English language.
Can I ask what that means?
Yes, of course, yeah. So essentially, what we're able to do is we're able to ask the district council to, let me get this around the right way because of the calling process has changed. Essentially, if the officer, so this has been assigned a particular planning officer at the district council, if the officer is minded to grant the application, so they look at it and they can't see that there's anything majorly wrong with it, then essentially what will happen is that we're requesting that it goes to committee. So there's an opportunity in a very similar sort of setting to this where it will be debated. It's much more formal, admittedly, at district, but in a very similar setting where the councillors will debate and there's a sort of strong report put forward. But that's only if the officer is minded to grant it. So if the officer looks at it, says absolutely not, no, I'm going to refuse it, then that's it. It will, refusal notice will be issued and that's it. In a sense, unless they go to appeal, which obviously then is another.
It's our power of making sure that if we can get support from district councillors for the call-in, it's our way of making sure that any decision that gets made is made with the democratic oversight.
But you would be able to, if it comes to the planning committee of the St Albans Council, one person is allowed to, assuming that's still the case,
Correct.
one
yes,
person
yes.
is allowed to speak against it. So you would be able to replicate
A similar message.
a similar message on a grander stage.
It's much more formal, so you would need to, keep your eyes peeled in a sense from SIP, it does go to committee, but there's a process where you have to telephone to express your request to speak. They need to know who you are, and there's quite a formal sort of kind of process. You can't just roll up like you have tonight and say, I'd like to speak. It's a very sort of kind of detailed agenda that will be followed.
Will the residents be informed? Are they going to committee or?
No, that's something that you will need to keep your eyes peeled on the district council. On the planning portal,
Okay,
just keep an eye on the district council website, just to see sort of how things are ticking along. So there's all applications go forward as being like a decision down for officer. A decision level is delegated is always the automatic. What you need to do is keep an eye out to see if it flicks to be committee, and then there'll be a committee date will be put next to the
Okay,
application.
Well, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting if you'd like. I suspect you probably have
Probably won't.
better things to do.
Yeah, thanks so much, Dave.
Okay.
Thanks for allowing us to appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. 2023-0554 and 0565 does not meet the criteria required for consideration. So on to 5. Hold on to equipment.
No, you
On
can carry on. We're
to
not doing
5/2023-0572 at 7 meetings closed. Observation on
it. Yeah. Only a second. This wonderful new PowerPoint Pro, or whatever they like to call themselves nowadays. PowerPoint Live or whatever.
enjoying the slideshow effect.
Okay, there. Okay, so 7 Pointings Close. The property is a detached property on a good sized plot in a road of property set in a staggered formation. The proposal at ground floor looks to infill the gap to the front in line with the existing hallway to create an additional study, convert the existing garage into a gym and extend rearwards, marginally stepped in from the boundary along the full depth of the property to expand the ground floor living accommodation. A first floor and extension partially over the ground floor extension, but in line with the first floor building line is proposed to expand a bedroom. No additional bedrooms are proposed. There is sufficient parking provision on the frontage to mitigate the loss of the garage. Due to the staggered positioning of the neighbouring properties, proposed extensions appear to cause little or no effect on the neighbouring properties, not conservation area. Consider no objections subject to no loss of amenity to the neighbouring properties. We'll see ESD 2 of the neighbourhood plan and 72 of the district plan and the facts.
Thank you, Heather. Any comments from councillors on this one? Councillor Cullen.
Can you go back to the previous picture?
Okay.
I mean, I think we're covering it in the objection. I mean, I would have thought if you're the house to the right, it could be from the angle we're seeing it at. If you're the house to the right and that's your main living room on the left-hand side,
Yeah.
but is that rear extension going to have any impact? But I don't know if they haven't objected and we're sort of covering the recommendation. That was my only query.
If you go on, Heather, to the next
Yeah.
one, you see, I think that it is coming forward, isn't it? Yeah, I thought it was okay, it is.
Did you want to look at the drawings? So obviously, I've
let's have a
only
look.
done a little extraction there.
The dark grey areas are basically the extent.
The extensions, yeah.
First level, yeah.
Yeah, so first floor level, the one to the top and the left, and then just ground floor to the right.
Yeah. I think that's okay.
Yeah, it might be just the angle that photo was taken at. Maybe if you were taking it the other way.
Would you like me to do the Google Street View?
Could do, I suppose.
I'll just And then I'll share the screen. Most odd, it doesn't allow you to share the Google Street View now, does it?
Maybe something to do with copyright.
Very annoying. But anyway, so you can see
I
there.
thought it was
I think
okay when I
it's-
looked at it before.
Okay, that's fine.
Be a little bit worried about everything, but I think it's okay.
It's only ground floor.
I know.
You could, I suppose you could turn your screen around if it's on your
Yeah.
screen, I suppose, if we're all closing it.
It's kind of in, just where that fence is.
Yes, I think I would be, when the more I see it, I think I would be concerned about the
Right.
inconvenience on number 9. That's that front room there.
Well, perhaps we could just sort of subject to know what we're
Which I think I've done.
Say that.
Already is,
So that, which is already there, isn't it?
I mean, I can be more specific.
When
to
it's
say,
Yeah.
So the numbers
To
like
that particular
nine, two
number,
number nine,
yeah.
front,
Yeah.
front living room, we can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes neighbours don't they might not like it, but they don't necessarily like to
Yeah.
complain because
Yeah.
it's not
Bad
anonymous, is
feeling,
it? Bad feeling
yeah.
and stuff, so. They are very close when you live.
We also have to think about future occupiers. May well be that the current
Yeah.
occupier finds nothing wrong with
Well,
something
thank
that's,
you.
you know, detrimental to the future ones. Any other comments from councillors? No? All in favour of the recommendation with that change?
Okay.
Lovely. 5/2023-0471 does not meet the criteria required for consideration. Neither does 5/2023-0601. So on to 5/2023-0609 at 138 Station Road. I recall we've seen before.
We have. This committee considered the review scheme in December 22 and had no objections subject to no loss of immunity to neighbouring properties. However, the LPA expressed concerns over the roof form having a detrimental effect on the character of the property and the locality. This new proposal removes the raising of eaves at the rear to create accommodation in the roof space. All other elements remain the same, therefore ensuring the roof form to the rear remains subservient, which appears to have addressed the reasons for refusal of the last application, not conservation area. And also consider no objections subject to the previous reasons for refusal being fully addressed and no loss of means to neighbouring properties. Essentially the district plan and policy ESD2 of the neighbourhood plan first.
Thank you. Heather, any comments from councillors on this one?
Agree with the recommendation.
Lovely. All in favour?
Okay, that's agreed.
5/2023-0613 does not meet the criteria for consideration. We've already considered that. Thank you. So on to 5/2023-0611 at 34 Barlings Road.
This committee considered the previously approved application in June 2022 and had some concerns over the excessive size and scale. This application seeks to extend the property in exactly the same way as the approved scheme, but with the addition of bedroom accommodation in the roof, which is only visible externally by the addition of 4 Velux windows to the front and 5 to the rear. The proposal adds 1 further bedroom to total 5, therefore parking provision does not change from the previous application. On the edge, but not conservation area, consider no objection.
Thank you. How close to the edge of the conservation area?
This is last one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like towards the sweeping bed, towards the end.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's decent.
Right, here's Barlings Road here, and the conservation area.
So it's
Scoots round
that, is it? So it's,
Yes.
it is literally,
on the edge, yeah.
there's a red line about where that hedgerow is next to it.
But I would say that the lie of the land, that area there doesn't necessarily feel particularly conservation-y area, does it? It's more like West Common Way. Yeah,
I was more checking just to see if it would have a detrimental impact on conservation
Yeah,
of
yeah.
properties and therefore. Because if it had been the other side, if it had been the rest of the street was in it, it was some sort of weird anomaly that had been built later, and it would have been
yeah.
worth thinking about. But no, I personally don't have a lot.
It's a cul-de-sac at the end.
The houses that you can see sort of kind of in the foreground there, that's West Common Way.
Background.
Background, sorry, yes, West Common House. Oh, house. Background, yeah, is
Yeah,
West Common Way. So.
I think it's okay. I mean,
it's fine.
I'm not sure that you see many front Velux windows around in that area, but most of them are big houses that, but if it's staying a bungalow, it seems reasonable.
They're more mixed, the properties, aren't they, that part of?
But it is.
No, it's not
It's
one of
not
those, it's a big
But
house.
but the properties are,
Oh, okay.
style of properties are more mixed.
Yes, yeah,
And there are still several that are, if you like, more modest
yeah,
in scale.
yes, yeah.
And it's an end of cul-de-sac.
And it's at the end of cul-de-sac, yes, exactly.
And not that property, so going up in height a little bit. All in favour of the recommendation? I 2023-0624 at 10 Barons Road.
Okay, the property is semi-detached with a driveway along the whole length of the property with a garage and utility extending into the rear garden. The proposal looks to extend sideways by 1.5 metres at two-storey level along the side of the property, leaving a 1 metre gap to the neighbour's boundary, with a small extension to the front of the existing garage, which is to be converted into habitable accommodation. An extension to the rear first floor level partially over the ground floor and extending half the width of the property is also proposed. Due to the loss of garage and the inability to park down the side of the house, off-street parking provision has reduced to just one car parking space for a 4-bedroom property. In addition to the extensions to the property, an air source heat pump is also proposed to the rear of the study and sitting adjacent to the neighbour's garage. There are no details of any acoustic or sound enclosures proposed to enclose the pump, despite wording in the design and access statement stating it's suitable for a residential location. Objections are on the LPA website, not conservation area. I say consider recommend refusal. Proposed extensions are deemed an overdevelopment of the plot, leading to a possible loss of meter to number 11 Barons Road. Concern is also expressed over the loss of garage and driveway with the reduction of off-street parking provision to just one parking space. The proposal could lead to on-street parking and possible highway conflict due to the position of the property directly into East Coast Drive. Concern is also expressed over the detrimental impact the air source heat pump could have on neighbouring properties for noise nuisance, policy ESD 2 of the neighbourhood plan and policy 34, 40 and 72 of the district plan affairs.
Can we have the plans?
Of course. Yeah.
Very narrow approach, and yes, we are in the garage anyway.
I think it's only minis down by the fact.
Yes,
Yeah. Principles.
the principle of going to the garage.
Yeah.
But they see it put to us these days.
Minutes now, quite big.
Yes, it's not that many anymore.
I could get my Peugeot down there.
And that was my concern. I wrote number 9 and basically it's already extended right out to the boundary.
Yes.
But I suppose. I don't know. I'm just thinking about like a terracing effect.
Yes.
9 has, but that doesn't mean to say then that 8 would be, or whatever it is, 7. would go in that.
A somewhat dwarfed number 11, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I think the thing is also actually looking at it is that a number 11 appears that it's set further back as well than whereas the houses next to 9, so it's kind of what 7 and 8 are set further forward.
Yeah, true.
Whereas number 11 feels that it's set back that actually all of the
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. From the front, they will see that bulk, whereas number 7, maybe wouldn't.
That does say proposed, but actually I'm not quite sure
There's-
that that's
there's-
overly
you-
accurate.
You can see on here, there's like a different colour shading, which is quite light.
Which doesn't show on
Yeah,
there so much.
which doesn't show there.
Ah, okay.
They've done full, white.
Yeah, so there is actually, yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably
because
not overly clear.
I saw this and I was trying to work out the relation.
It's unfortunately, the screen doesn't show it
Doesn't
very
show on
clearly,
the
and it's actually,
Yeah.
Arrows are pointed to a shaded bit. It's quite faint.
Okay.
I'm just about to see it on my screen actually, but
You can, if you squint and
screen
sort
is
of
down there, yeah.
turn the brightness up.
Yes, you can, John.
Yeah,
You can, John.
only just.
I think we need a new TV screen.
Yeah. Sounds like,
Tell Carl, you're leaving comment.
yeah, at the end of the meeting, can we put a list together of the things we haven't liked?
Very quick, very quick.
Don't let me get to tomorrow.
I noticed all the photographs have been taken down front door as you walk in.
Oh, they were taken down long ago.
Were they?
Yeah, having to walk past our places every morning, probably
Yeah,
a bit much. for
No,
me.
Motivating for the
no, no. No, they've been taken down, honestly, a long time.
Yes, I would.
It's been there for ages.
Given the quality of my portrait, I'm looking forward to it no longer being in the forum.
They're probably the opposite. Probably
Yeah.
through all the glass.
At least in my case, they can now be.
I never
Nice
worried
to
about it.
know.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, just a bit of walkway down the house and doing more.
It's a bit marginal, this, I feel.
Yeah,
Yes,
it looks. big.
Maybe just express concern rather than.
yes, it's a
confuse.
bit, it's just a bit borderline,
I
isn't
think it's
it?
the parking's the major issue, to be honest. We're moving to a 4-bedroom house and having one park.
Yeah,
I think that's actually, so what I would say is the committee expressed concerns over
Yeah.
but we recommend refusal on the basis of the parking. So I think actually the parking is refusable.
yeah.
Yes, and with the wording about the
Yeah.
potential
Highway
highway
conflict.
conflict.
I
Yeah,
think that's, and if, can we
And then
move the air source heat
Move
pump
the,
up
into the
up
express
into
concern,
the
yeah.
concern bit?
Yeah,
Um,
that's fine.
all in favour of that recommendation? Lovely.
Okay.
5/2023/027/0612065 not meet the criteria. Gosh, we had a lot of the warrant in the last few months. 5/2023/0674 at 5 to 1. It's only about 10 houses on the one.
it's not near the White Horse, or- no.
No,
That's
this is-
behind.
yeah, behind.
The funny bit, I think it's.
Yeah, it's further in, the one.
Yes, yes, it is
It's
further
the
in.
roundabout at the end.
Yes, it's when you get to that roundabout, and if you're not thinking what you're doing, you get lost, you get the wrong way.
Yeah, I assume it is, all right.
But it's like a pump house or something in the
Yeah.
middle of it.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yes,
There's a funny.
and there's that little structure in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's like, who maintains it?
I have no idea. It's a private
road.
road, so I
It's a
can't go
road
down
for
and
a
look
start.
at it.
But I assume that was just because nobody knew who owned it.
No, I presume, being a private road, I presume all the residents have to pay so much a year, like anybody else, to maintain the road.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to when we get to watch the film at the end.
Okay, the road
Yeah,
is
that's
a
sweet.
private road made up of spacious plots, many of which have substantial properties and a number have been extended or demolished and rebuilt. This property is the original dwelling with a cat's hide roof and a double garage set forward of the main house building line. The proposal is to extend the left-hand side 2-storey to expand the ground floor living space and create an additional bedroom with ensuite at first floor. There is also a small ground floor extension to the rear. The roof form is changing to be a more orthodox hip-sided roof to match that of number 3, the Warren. It's also proposed to include storage space above the garage with the introduction of a single window to the front. The proposed extensions appear to be in keeping with the street scene and will not cause any detrimental impact on neighbouring properties on the edge but not conservation area. Consider no objection.
Thank you. Any comments from council on this one?
It's okay, I mean, it's modest by new build standards to the left, isn't it?
Yes,
Okay, all in favour?
Okay, that's agreed.
Okay, 5/2023/0640, 0648, 0685, and 0686 all do not meet the criteria required for consideration. On to item 8, we have an appeal decision to Milford Hill, which has been allowed. Can't remember what our position on Milford Hill was, but for noting. And we have an appeal put in at Cross Farm because of non-determination in the statutory timeframe. So those are just for us to be aware of. We also have preservation of the tree. I've got a nice backing track at the moment. We also have preservation order tree works for noting, the list of weekly St Albans District Council decisions for noting, the conservation area tree works and technical applications for noting. The next meeting of the planning committee at Hartland Town Council will be held on Tuesday, the 16th of May, 2023. And I look forward to seeing who the new faces are on that committee when that's been established. And the next meeting of the St Albans District Council mega planning committee will be held on Monday, the 22nd of May. That I bring this meeting of the planning committee to a close at, I think, at 8:10. Lovely. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for your.
Yeah, well done.
Chairman. And Heather for all her hard work.